Here we are in section 2.2 with numbers 1 through 6. It looks like a review of section 2.1 with solving equations using this three-step process. All right, number 1, simplify. Are there any parentheses? Yes, indeed there are. Let's distribute. We get 3x minus 15 minus x equals 4x minus 20. Are there fractions? No. Are there many x's? Yes, there are. Let's combine. 3x minus x, that's a 2x minus 15 equals 4x minus 20. All right. But we got to combine them all on one side, so we have to get rid of either that 2x or that 4x. One of them must go. So pick one and minus 2x from both sides, and we get negative 15 equals 2x minus 20. Notice we have now simplified it. We're now down to the step 2 and 3, which is add 20 to both sides. So 2x equals a positive 5. Divide by 2. X equals 5 halves. There we go. Number 2. 9x minus 4. So we're going to take this minus 4 and jump it in, and we get 9x minus 4x plus 12. Make sure you realize negative 4 times negative 3 is a positive 12 equals 15x plus 7. There are no fractions, but there are many x's hanging about. Let's combine these guys together. 5x plus 12 equals 15x plus 7. We now need to get them on the same side. So subtract 5x, that'll get rid of it over here. Subtract 5x here, and we get 12 equals 10x plus 7. Add 7 to subtract 7 from both sides, and we get 10x equals a 5. Divide both sides by 10, and we get x equals 5 tenths. That reduces down to a 1/2. All right, number 3. We do not have any parentheses. We don't have any fractions, but we do have many x's. Let's combine everything on the left-hand side here. 5x minus 12x is negative 7x plus x is negative 6x. And over here we have 12x. So we got to get rid of one of them. So add 6x to both sides. Now notice here, those are exact inverses, so that is 0 equals 18x. We get x equals divided by 18 on both sides. 0 divided by 18 is the number 0. Oh, good. All right, next one, number 4. 4/5 x equals 2x minus 5/3. Are there any parentheses? There are not. Are there any fractions? Yes. The secret to that is the least common denominator. So the least common denominator between a 5 and a 3 is a 15. So times by 15 at each term. So we times by 15 there. Here, 15 times 4/5. It's going to leave a 3. 3 times 4 is 12. Okay. 15 times 2 is 30. And then 15, you can either take 15 times 5 is 75 divided by 3, or 15 divided by 3 is 5. 5 times 5 is 25. There we go. Are there multiple x's? There are. We need to get rid of one of them. Let's get rid of this 30x here. Minus 30x minus 30x. And that'll give us a negative 18x equals a negative 25. Divide by a negative 18, divide by a negative 18, and we get x equals 25/18. Oh, good. The next one, number 5. Ooh, this one has parentheses and multiple x's and fractions. This is probably as ugly of a problem as we can give you. Let's take care of it one step at a time. Parentheses. So let's take this negative 2/5 and jump it in, and we get 3/5 x minus 2/5 x plus 6/5. Now that's a 3 over a 1. That's why just the 2 times it equals 1/5 x plus 3. Okay. Do we have fractions? Yes. Let's multiply through by the least common denominator, which looks like a 5, 5, 5, 5. Yeah, it looks like a 5. So times everything by 5. That will cancel, most everything. Oh, that guy doesn't have a 500, so those guys cancel. We're left with 3x. 5 and a 5 minus 2x. 5 and a 5, that's plus 6 equals 5 and a 5, that's x plus 15. Wow. So we now have multiple x's. 3x minus 2x is 1x plus 6 equals x plus 15. We've now combined the left-hand side together and the right-hand side. It was already all together in 1x. Now we've got to get rid of one of them. Well, uh-oh. If we subtract x, look at what happens. The x's are gone and we get 6 equals 15, which should make you feel kind of sheepish. 6 equals 15? That is a no solution. 6 never equals 15. We have got up a contradiction in this thing where x cannot ever make this thing be true. Alrighty. Okay, then the last one, number 6. Do we have parentheses? Not that we can see. You could kind of view this as a parentheses, and it will pop up later. But if you go ahead, let's get rid of these fractions. What's the least common denominator? 35. Times by 35 on both sides. So when 35 divided by 7, that's a 5. But notice it has to jump in there. 35 divided by 5 is a 7, and it has to jump in there. So we actually get 5, 3x plus 2 equals 4x minus 1 times 7. Now, just to bring this up, since some of you will have seen cross multiplication, you'll notice that this 5 ended up timesing the 3x plus 2, and that 7 ended up timesing the 4x minus 1. That is a natural reaction when you have two fractions and the least common denominator is the multiple of those two. So if you've seen that before, that's a shortcut that can happen in this one particular situation. The least common denominator will always work, and you're safe with that. So you get 15x plus 10 equals 28x minus 7. Oh, good. Now look, we've got rid of the parentheses and the fractions. Now there are many x's. So we've got to get rid of one of them. Let's subtract 15x. Subtract 15x. We have 10 equals 13x minus 7. Now we're down to step 2. Let's take a moment. Look, we simplified it. That's great. Add 7 to both sides. We get 17 equals 13x. Divide by 13. We get x equals 17 over 13. Excellent.